Hi guys, EBPMAN with Tablets for Me, and today we're going to do an unboxing and review of the Logitech Ultrathin Keyboard Folio, and this is for the iPad mini and the iPad mini Retina. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what's inside. Go ahead and open up the box. And here what we have is our Folio keyboard for the iPad mini. Now, this happens to be the black one. It has kind of a very nice satin finish to the actual case. It's a very smooth finish. It has inside of it an actual physical keyboard. This keyboard is a plastic keyboard. You notice that it's not a fabric keyboard like with some of the other cases that we've seen from Logitech. It weighs no more than 285 grams and is again 19.3 millimeters thick, so very thin case, as you can see right here. We'll talk a little bit more about this in a couple seconds, but in the box, in addition to the case, you have the instructions and you also have a USB cable. Let's do a deep dive into the actual case itself and see how it fits on the iPad mini. So let's talk a little bit about the case before we actually go and insert the iPad mini into the case. As I mentioned earlier, it's a thin profile case, doesn't really add that much thickness to the actual iPad. 289 grams of additional, or actually 285 grams of additional weight that you're going to add to your iPad. 19.3 millimeters thick, so again, not thick in any way whatsoever. As you compare this to some of the other cases from Zag, for example, they tend to be heavier and they tend to be thicker as well. You'll find that the case also is water resistant, okay, not waterproof. So that means that, you know, if anything spills on top of it or something is on the bottom as you lay your iPad, you really don't have to worry about it seeping through and actually damaging your device. When we place the iPad into the actual case, you'll also find that it does provide some nice bumper protection on both sides. So that is something also that we all appreciate. It has what I would consider here, this little tab. Most of us may not recognize, but it's really can be used as a stylus holder. So you can put your stylus here. You can hook it up on the side. So use your, like this part of your stylus, just like this. Let me try to get that in. There you go. So you can slide your stylus like that and have it with you. It basically has it's a Bluetooth keyboard, as we've talked about that in the past. But what I like about it is that you could use it as a keyboard, but also you can just use it as if you were just using it as a book reader, or if you were going to, for example, use it with a stylus to write on. So the keyboard, you can put it on the opposite side and not really have to worry about it. The keyboard is rechargeable, so you do have the ability to recharge this keyboard, as you can see, and the keyboard will last on one charge approximately 3 months. So that's a pretty good lifetime for the battery. It does have a magnetic locking system right here. So you'll see once we put the iPad in the actual case, it will lock into position, allowing you to make sure that the iPad stays firmly in position and not move away. So let's go ahead and look at how the iPad fits in the Folio. All right, so here I have my iPad, and I always like to, when you insert, it has a locking mechanism right here that you can see. See this locking mechanism? You'll hear an audible snap when it goes in there, and this is your camera hole right here. So you want to make sure that everything aligns. So I typically start this way in. And once I put it that way, again, I started with the top first because, you know, I have my power button there. So I always start from the top first, and then I'll push down, and there'll be a click. You may not pick it up on the mic, but there's an audible click letting me know that the case has been closed. And now when I close it, you know, one of the things that I always worry about, and this will hopefully come out here on the camera, is that are the keys actually touching the screen? But there's actually 4 little bumpers all the way around that don't allow the actual keys to touch your screen. Now I always wear screen protectors. I have screen protectors on my actual iPad minis, but the screens don't touch your actual the keyboards don't touch your actual screen, so that's a nice feature. And if we look at here, you'll notice that you have access to your headphone jack still, but you still have, and you notice, here goes my finger, almost a half of an inch of material, so that if you do bang your iPad in any corner, you have adequate protection. You have the same here. You'll notice the amount of material left. I'll stick my finger that you have there, giving you enough gap so that if you do bang your iPad, you don't have to worry about it. And then this cutout that you see here gives you easy access to the volume rocker if you need to increase or lower the volume. So that's very thoughtful of Logitech. On this side, you have actually the cutout, and the cutout is well aligned so that if you are Skyping or taking a picture of something, actually, you can take a picture if you'd like. Here on the bottom portion, you'll notice you have that bumper protection over here as well, where we snapped in a couple seconds ago. Access to your speakers are not really covered, and then your charging port. And then on this side, coincidentally, you have the charging port to the actual keyboard and the on and off switch. Now, when you do open up the iPad, it does support that auto wake feature. Let's go ahead and do that again. Well, let me just log in really quick. Okay, so you'll notice that it does support the auto wake and auto off. If I were to put it in keyboard mode, or if I was going to use it like a tablet or mini laptop, one of the things I want you to notice is that there is a magnetic strip here that ties into this area. And typically, you know how Apple sells you those magnetic folios that cover your iPad? Well, watch what happens when you move forward. Okay, see that? So it's magnetized. It's not going to come off. So we'll do it one more time so you can see that. So I just push it forward, and you'll watch how it moves into position. See that? So magnetized, which is a nice feature because your iPad, if you're using it and you're typing, and I have rather large hands, you won't have to worry about it falling off or falling down. You'll notice I'm shaking it, and it really takes a lot of effort to be able to get that down. But if you're on a plane, train, or automobile and this is moving around, or you grab it on the bottom like I'm doing here, you really have no problem with this falling out or moving away. So all in all, good stable protection as you're typing away, or you could even use it as you're watching a movie. You may want to stand it up this way. If you want to turn on your iPad, this little safety notch that's right here, if I press it, it does turn on your iPad, so that's something that you can do if that's how you want to turn it on. Obviously, it does support that auto wake feature rather easily. Again, not a lot of thickness being added to your iPad. If I compare this to a slim folio that has no keyboard, you'll notice that the thickness of the material that we have here and here is very similar to this thin folio that I have. And again, this is a keyboard case without a keyboard, and notice that it doesn't really add that much material to the iPad, nor does it add that much thickness to it. So you still have that thin profile that you'd like with the iPad, plus you get the actual 3-month battery life. Okay, so now in order to pair or turn on your keyboard, all I'm going to do is, you see this switch right here, I'm going to flip this on. And it does come with some charge, so I haven't really charged it fully, but you notice that it goes immediately into Bluetooth pairing mode. I'm going to turn on the iPad mini. Let me go ahead and log into it. And once I log into it, I'm just going to go into the Bluetooth settings. So here I am, iPad mini is on. Go into settings, go into Bluetooth, and right here you'll notice that I have the Ultrathin Keyboard Folio M1. It's not paired. I'm going to tap it, and my flashing Bluetooth signal is on, and now it says that I'm connected. So the Ultrathin keyboard is on. So now all the buttons should work, and the keyboard does support. It has like the home button. We'll bring this up a little bit. Notice it has the home button. It has all your numeric keys, supporting also specific functions that are unique to the iPad. So you have volume controls here, media controls where you can move forward and back, and that's going to be using a combination of the option key and then that function. You have your global search capability, internet access, so it gives you quick access to a lot of those. So we'll go ahead and press the home button to take us home, since you have the home functionality there. I'll do a function and number 3, and I'll get my global search function. You can see that right there. If I wanted also to raise or decrease the volume of the iPad, I can do that. You notice I'm doing it with the keyboard, no problem. So that's taking place. And if I was listening to music, I can move forward and back with the media buttons. So all in all, this is a great product from Logitech. Thin, lightweight, excellent battery life, and it provides adequate protection to your iPad mini. Again, compatible with the iPad mini 1 and the iPad mini Retina. If you have any comments or questions about this product, leave them on the YouTube channel. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and to share this video.